Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I am Shabina Mahmood and I am over here with my last lecture related to the chapter faithfulness as well as related to your book of 10th class. Students, in this lecture I will give you a complete description of the exercise of the unit faithfulness. Here we are going to deal with the grades or the activities that are given under the vocabulary of your book of 10th class. Over here they have given you out some words and they have asked you to write out the sentences from these words. These words with their sentences are over here on the screen. You can take help from these words. These are specific from the exercise, but I have given you out the important words with their sentences from the chapter in my previous lecture. So students, now I am coming towards the next activity. In the next activity they have given you out some phrasal verbs and you have to write out the sentences of these phrasal verbs. I am going to explain these sentences in front of you. The first phrasal verb is with all my strength. I hit the dog with all my strength. To call to account. Ali was called to account for his absence. To hand over, he handed over a book to me. As usual, everything is going on as usual. No sign of, his face shows no sign of anger. To have its course, the law will have its course. Okay students, next they have given you out some words and you have to use them in sentences as a verb, and then you have used out these words in a sentence as a noun. I have given you out first of all these words and the use of these words in the sentences as verb, and in the next I am going to give you the words with their description in the sentences as noun. So students, you can take help from this description and you can prepare these words for your exercise. Okay students, now I am coming towards the translation. They have asked you to translate the paragraph 5 into Urdu. I have given you out the link that is behind, and from this link you can take out all the translations of all the units one by one. At this link I have given you out the translation of all the passages, but now I am going to translate passage number 5 in front of you, and this translation is over here on the screen. You can see this translation and you can take help from this one so that it will be easy for you to prepare out this translation. So now I am coming towards the comprehension and I am going to explain the answers of the questions that are given to you in the exercise. First question is over here on the screen. What case did the young man bring to Hazrat Umar Farooq? Young men bring complaint to Hazrat Umar that the person had murdered their old father. They demanded justice for punishing the murder of his crime. Why did the old man hurl a stone at the camel? The camel nipped a few leaves off the hanging branch of a tree. The old man, on seeing this, hurled a stone at the camel with all his might. Why did the villager ask Hazrat Umar Farooq to delay the execution? The villager asked Hazrat Umar Farooq to delay the execution because his father, as at his death, left some gold for my younger brother who is too young to be told about the place where he hid it. He had buried the gold in the earth in a field and no one knows the place. If his brother on account of his death does not get his due share, he shall be called to account on the day of judgment for being dishonest. That is why be kind and grant him 3 days time. After handing over the gold to a trustee, he will return to face death. On what condition was the criminal allowed to leave? The condition was anyone who can stand as surety and who will be willing to stuff death if the man failed to return. Why were Sahabas worried? Sahabas felt anxious for the fate of Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari. Why did the accusers forgive the villager? At the honesty and faithfulness of the criminal, the accuser forgave the villager. Okay student, now I am coming towards the grammar section. There is the activity related to the grammar that you have to put out the exact form of word to make them the sentences, the third conditionals. The third conditionals are over here on the screen and I have made them for you. All these sentences are converted to third conditionals, but if there is any other type of sentence, then you have to go back to my grammar lecture and you have to pick out all the details related to the third conditional so that it will be easy for you to make out change out any sentence towards the third conditional sentence. Okay student, the next activity is that you have to combine the two sets of sentences and and to make them, to convert them into a compound sentences. The solution of this activity is over here on the screen. I have combined out the two sets of sentences and make the compound sentences for your convenience, but you can make and you have to exemplify such type of sentences more than enough so that you can be able to make them properly and to handle them properly. So be careful and always try to make more and more activities related to these activities, because in paper there will be no chance to come only the same things which are present in the exercise. They can check your concept by changing the statement or by changing the activity that is present in the book. So you have to be prepared for the paper. So now the next activity is also related to similar activity that they have given you out two sets of sentences and you have to change them into the complex sentences. Before we have changed them into the compound sentences, and now in front of you here is the solution of this activity. I have changed all the sentences into the complex sentences, and this will surely help you to maintain or to help or to handle out such type of sentences. Now I am coming towards the next activity. This activity is very informative. That yes, in this activity they have given you out three type of words. First of all, you have to separate out the subordinate conjunction, then you have to separate out the independent clause, and then you have to put comma before the dependent clause. So this activity is really informative, and I have solved this activity in front of you over here, and I have underlined and I have circled and I have highlighted all these three types of things so that you will be easy to understand this one. But for the complete description of all these three type of sets, you have to go back to my grammar lecture and you have to pick out all the necessary information related to these concepts from there. So students, now I am coming towards the writing. Okay students, in the writing skills you have to summarize the passage, the complete unit, and you have to write down the character of the villager. I have given you out the character of the villager over here, but I have given you out a complete description of all the passages in my previous lecture. You have to take out the information from that lecture and you can add or delete some information from this character sketch to make it more enhancing. And for summary of the lecture, you have to go back to my lecture and where I have given you out passage by passage summary, and in detailed summary I am going to give you the summary over here on faithfulness, and this will be an essay on faithfulness also. So you should be sure that you can add and delete some quotations and some things to make it more enhancing. So students, this is a comprehending lecture related to the exercise of faithfulness. This is my last lecture related to your book of 10th class, and I am hopeful that these lectures will surely help you to understand and to grasp out more and more knowledge and more information as well. I will be with you with my next effort as soon as possible. Till then you have to wait for me. Inshallah ta'ala. Allah Hafiz.